Interesting city. Great music, by the way. And you'll see some weird here, but overall it's, yeah, pretty lit. I'm going to enjoy my stay. That's about all. Peace out.
Yesterday, people were massively sharing that clip because it looks like a very accurate prediction given the stories that he had to tell today about the things he saw in jail. Yes, for those of you who haven't been following, Styx Hexenhammer was arrested for domestic battery. And many people on the internet were like, oh, so this is why they call him Clankers. But all jokes aside, it wasn't good for him because he happened to be in New Orleans. And from my understanding, that is one of the most dangerous prisons in the United States. It's a very old prison. They usually house 9 people or so together. I couldn't find anything about the jails they have, but from my understanding in the United States, jails are sometimes even worse than prisons. So for him being a white dude, not affiliated with any organization, the way he looks is not very intimidating. And the type of charge he caught, I mean, usually in the United States, prisoners don't look very kindly to people that commit crimes against women, the elderly, disabled, children. And prisoners are not investigators, by the way. Like, they don't care. If they see that charge on your paperwork, it's bad for you. He can get extorted, he can get roughed up. So the quartering decided to bail him out. And I believe that the bail was in the tune of $7,000, probably a little bit more or less. But it was in that area. And the quartering got a lot of flack for this. A lot of individuals were like, well, why do you assume he is innocent? Why do you presume that he didn't do it? What is this nonsense? Innocence until proven guilty. Why are you doing this? And the quartering responded with the following tweets. People are allowed to have their opinions, but I am withholding judgment. Domestic type situations are often very messy, and the man is usually not given the benefit of the doubt at all. I'm not going to talk about it anymore until he is released and then has his story to tell. So, yeah, I mean, if you look on social media, there were a lot of police officers, and you can check out that they are police officers by looking at their bio. And they were saying that usually in such cases, they just arrest the man. Like if they arrive on the scene and the couple is arguing, and it's a he said, she said type of thing, they just arrest the man. Now, obviously, it depends from state to state. It depends from police department to police department. It actually depends to the actual officer. You know, the culture, the mentality of the people there. Like in other countries, it's probably different. In other states, it may be different. He didn't go in front of a judge. He didn't plead guilty, nor was he found guilty. And due to the fact that the quartering and him are friends, he is willing to give Styx the benefit of the doubt. Now, again, for those of you who don't know, behind the scenes, Styx is viewed very positively because he has helped a lot of content creators. He has spoke out for smaller channels. So this is why a lot of content creators like him, and they can't believe that they did something like this, or at least they're trying not to believe that they did something like this. So I understand where the quartering is coming from, because he said on a live stream, it's like, look, I want to hear his side of the story, and if it turns out that it's bad, then he is not going to work with Styx anymore. I believe that Styx and the quartering were supposed to do a podcast in the future. And if it turns out that the charges are legit and he can't explain them away, then the quartering is going to distance himself from Styx and he's not going to want to associate. But if it turns out that either it's not very bad, like they just had a dispute and they were screaming at each other and then the neighbors called the cops, but like there was no violence, no nothing like that, then that changes things. And this is the rationale behind the quartering. Again, he got some backlash for it. I would say it wasn't significant, but enough to pop up on his Twitter timeline. Meanwhile, Styx did come home. It took a long time after the quartering paid the bail for Styx to actually get out, and the quartering was annoyed because they took his money right away, but it actually ended up for a couple more hours until Styx was released. And he is now posting on Twitter. He hasn't uploaded a single YouTube video yet. But he is saying, long story short, I was absent due to being in jail in New Orleans for a week due to stupidity. Meet a really cool murderer and a dude in for a drug dealing. Plenty of chill criminals, more chuckleheads than in the general population. Now, people pressed him hard on this, and as you can see, like, this post has more interaction than all the others combined. And they're like, okay, so you're admitting that you did it? Because you're saying that you went to jail due to stupidity. To which Styx responded that it wasn't my stupidity. So he's being vague about it, but as I mentioned in the previous video, this is probably what every single lawyer would advise him to do, not to talk about the situation until it's resolved. So for those of you expecting a story about this, I wouldn't hold my breath. He does say that, honestly, the criminals and criminals in name were way cooler and more chill than the jail staff. Funny story, one dude brought weed into the room, and he and like 5 others were smoking it. I was like, dude, what the fuck? But the guards outside smelled it. He never returned to the room, though thought they were batshit. Like here's the thing. There's actually a video from New Orleans. I don't know if it's jail or prison, but the New York Times showed it. And it has like some prisoners having a gun inside the cell. And this is happening while they're gambling and they're doing various narcotics. So, yeah, when people say that it's one of the worst places in the US when it comes to being incarcerated, yeah, I kind of believe that. From what I've seen, it looks bad. But take into account that usually when people have contraband in a prison, it's because the guards allow it. It's very difficult, next to impossible, to smuggle stuff into such a controlled area. And what's also interesting, this is a patent thesis, right? Prison is supposed to be like one of the most surveilled and controlled systems on Earth. Because you have violent criminals there, and you have to make sure that they don't attack each other. And despite all this extra safety and security, you still have crimes being committed. Isn't that fascinating? The last one is that he saw a dude nonchalantly opening a packet and snorting la cocaína, as if he was in the White House. So, yeah, it's not a pleasant environment, I guess. Take into account that these people that are consuming these substances, usually when they suffer from withdrawal, or even sometimes when they're during the high, they can be very violent and irrational. So this is why it's a place you don't want to be. Regarding Styx, look, you guys know that I usually do my best to stay away from content creator on content creator drama. I used to do it a lot, but recently I moved away from it because I noticed that it's very difficult to be an independent content creator on a social media platform due to the algorithm, due to the fact that corporations are favored, due to the fact that content creators who are affiliated with various groups and organizations have a leg up. So I don't want to be like crabs in the bucket. But I did start covering this, so I did give you guys the updates. Now, I don't think that the story is going to evolve for the foreseeable future, simply because Styx is not going to talk about it while it's under investigation, and I don't know if there's anything else to dig up at this point until it actually goes to court. If it goes to court, I'll probably cover it a little bit more on my live stream if there's anything interesting. I personally hope that Styx hasn't done anything, or if he does, it's just like an argument or him screaming at his significant other, and that's it. But I also expect that there is a possibility that maybe he did do something, in which case he's going to have to face the consequences. Now, my message to Styx is, because I do think he's watching this video, is that while looking into this, myself and many others have noticed that your content has been in decline for a while. And if you don't believe me, watch a video of yours from 3 years ago and compare it to one that you've released recently. You used to be a lot more insightful, and your commentary was a lot more on point. And I personally believe that this is happening due to potentially various substance abuse. I don't know if it's alcohol or something else, but it just feels as if you're not in your A game. Now, I may be wrong with this, you know, please forgive me if it turns out that you are not taking any alcohol or you're not doing any substance abuse, and despite all that, your content is just declining. I mean, that is a possibility. Or maybe there are some issues that are happening in your life and you can't focus on things because you're emotionally affected by whatever it is happening, but you gotta get a handle on this. Groping women on stream in a very cringe way. Like, what? Why are you doing that? Like, you're a professional streamer. You know the cameras are rolling. Why would you put yourself in a situation? And providing that she liked it, like, what did you expect to happen? Were you going to cuddle on the stream, touch second base? You know, like, what are you thinking? Snap out of it. You have 500,000 subscribers. Do you know how many people would like to be in your position? You have a channel that is successful and you put low effort in it. And I understand because I put low effort as well. But unlike you, at least I got thumbnails. You don't put thumbnails. You don't have ad revenue, right? You don't put AdSense enabled. And despite all that, you managed to get to 500,000 subscribers. So you had something going there. And I don't know what happened. Like, maybe you got bored of it. Maybe you're just in a difficult time in your life. But you need to get the shit together and go back doing to whatever it used to be doing that was making you successful. Like, very few people have this ability to create a channel with 500,000 subscribers while not even editing anything. Just talking in front of the camera. That's insane. Right? So you had the talent. Just put it to good use. Don't squander it. That's my advice to Styx. And hopefully you didn't do anything bad. But if you did, as I mentioned before, you're going to have to face the consequences. And I don't think any other content creator will be able to help you in that situation. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.